We are back right here on the channel, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the channel. And we're here to talk about some breaking news that just came out on WWE. It seems like 4 wrestlers are upset with the company right now, and they have reportedly asked for their release. Those people are Scott Dawson, Dash Wilder of the Revival, Mike Kanellis, and Maria. So these 4 wrestlers have reportedly asked for their release. Well, let's think about it for a second. Let's think about what went down. Apparently the reason why Mike and Maria have asked for their release is because Maria has said that she is not happy with her position with her husband, that he only had like 4 matches on SmackDown, and if my memory serves me correctly, weren't all of those matches except for one that was a loss? I'm pretty sure he had his debut matches against Sami Zayn, he won. And the last 3 matches he had with Sami Zayn and I think Bobby Roode, he lost. And as for Maria, I find this funny. I want to let you guys know something. If you guys remember the Raw 25 show, I know, I'm pretty sure none of you would want to remember that terrible show. But just to give you guys a just to refresh your memory on Raw 25. You know how they had that whole of women's legends? They were calling out women's legends who they would believe that were legends of the company. They had the Bella Twins, they had Trish, they had Terry Runnels, they had Tori Wilson, Michelle McCool, and all those women. Maria was actually one of them. I think they said great women's champions. I think they listed them as the greatest women's champions. And if that was the case, Terry Runnels was never a women's champion, and Maria was never a women's champion either. So, if they were calling them out as great women's champions, then they definitely got those 2 wrong. They were never champions, and Tori Wilson was never champion. But I think it was they were calling them women's legends. Yeah. And one of your quote-unquote women's legends is going to walk out on your company. Just ask for her release. One of your legends asked for her release. Some legend Maria is, huh? Some legend she is. She's now asking for her release. What legend asks for their release? You give her the honor of being a legend. And look, I'm not saying this as her... I'm not saying what Maria's doing is wrong. What she's doing is right. I'm saying they gave her the honor of on Raw 25 as a legend. And I bet they're regretting the decision. Because you're going to have someone like Maria, who you called a women's legend on Raw 25, and now here she is walking out on your company. She's asking for a release. That's a disgrace. That's a disgrace, WWE. I said it from day one. When they had that Raw 25 video. When I did that Raw 25 video, when I did my review on that show, I knew for a fact that they should have had AJ Lee there. But they decided to go with the most unrealistic lineup they could have ever gone with. The Bella Twins makes sense. Maurice makes sense. Trish definitely makes sense. Michelle McCool, yeah, alright. Yeah, she's definitely a good legend. Kelly, questionable. I like Kelly, but I'll take it. I think that's questionable enough. Tori Wilson, yeah, I guess if you're a big fan of bra and panties matches, she'd be considered a legend. Terry Runnels, mostly a manager. And then you got Maria. Maria was possibly the most unrealistic one of them all. In my opinion, AJ Lee should have been there. But they didn't. And now Maria's asking for a release, as well as Mike Kanellis. I know and look, I don't think WWE really care for Mike and Maria. I think they're just going to let them go. I think they're going to release them. But in all honesty, guys, I think it's really, really stupid. I think it's really stupid that WWE... This is what happens when you waste talent. This is what happens when you waste them. You had them on SmackDown for like 4 weeks. And then Maria got pregnant. And Mike Kanellis, you moved Mike to Raw. You moved Mike Kanellis to Monday Night Raw, only to appear on Main Event every week. So it was the same thing for Zack Ryder. You moved him to Raw to have him on Main Event. So why even bother draft these people? Why even bother draft these people and move these people to different shows if you're not even going to use these talents? Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So Mike Kanellis was Main Event when he got moved to Raw. And now he's on 205 Live, doing nothing there as well. He had a couple of matches, but it doesn't seem like Mike and Maria are having a good time on 205 Live as well. Seems like they're not having a good time on that show as well. Shame on you, WWE. Shame on you for not using these two to their potential. Shame on you. So now let's talk about the Revival. Hashtag FTR. I'm pretty sure you guys can figure that out yourself. The Revival. Where do we start with the Revival? Where do we start with the top guys? Where do we start with them? They were one of the greatest tag teams in NXT. Put on some great matches with DIY, Authors of Pain, and even Enzo and Cass. They had some good matches with them too. And then they come to the main roster, and they're treated as nothing more than jobbers. They're treated more as enhancement talent. You're telling me that the Revival are mid-card acts? Sure, they may not be everybody's cup of tea. They may not have character. They may not have charisma. They may not have, they may not have what you have in a character. But here's the thing. Not every wrestler needs a character to play. Not everyone needs a character. Not everybody needs a gimmick. Not everyone needs a gimmick. Not everyone needs a character. You can easily just be yourself. And I think that's what Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson were doing. They were being themselves. But in all honesty, there was such a great tag team. Why in the world would you waste away the Revival? WWE have screwed the Revival. They should already be tag team champions. Already, by now. When the B team won the belts, the Revival should have had them. This is one of the best tag teams you could have right now in WWE. And you're just going to let them go? I know All Elite Wrestling's a thing. But if you want to beat All Elite Wrestling, if you want to stand up to All Elite Wrestling, you don't let talent like that go. You don't let that type of talent go. I know there are people that are looking forward to All Elite Wrestling. So am I. Don't worry, I am too. But if you want to stand up to All Elite Wrestling and prove that you're not that typical company that they called you out on in the rally. They didn't mention you by name, but they were taking shots at you. They were taking shots at you by saying wins and losses will matter. Which is taking a shot at WWE for wins and losses don't matter. Paying males and females equal amount of money. Taking a shot at WWE for paying their talent less money. And all this other stuff they mentioned. Taking shot after shot after shot after shot at WWE. The Revival is the best tag team. And you're going to let these guys go. If you let them go, you're going to regret it, WWE. You got to do a hell of a lot of convincing to keep them around. I doubt no matter what you convince, they'll stay. Maybe if you promise them the tag team titles, maybe that will make them stay. But I'll give you guys a bit of history. I'll give you guys a bit of history. Ryback. I know a lot of people may not like this guy, but Ryback does actually have a point. He actually had a point in his interview where he talked about what happened to him when he left WWE. He said that he was unhappy with the company and he was ready to go. But then all of a sudden, WWE tell him they're going to put the Intercontinental Championship on him. He had no idea why. He had no idea why they were going to put the Intercontinental title on him. He found it. He thought it was really confusing that WWE were going to push him to a championship after the way they've treated him. So they give him the Intercontinental Championship. And Ryback immediately noticed that WWE gave him a new contract for him to pay. They gave him a ton of money, and they wanted to extend his contract with money and a few extra dates. I think it was a year contract. I can't remember how many years it was, but they paid him a lot. They were going to pay him a ton of money and add a few more years onto his contract if he signed it. And he didn't sign it. He saw right through WWE's bullshit. So maybe the Revival will probably do the same thing. If they put the tag team titles on them, they'll see through their garbage. They'll see through their shit and think, hell no, I ain't signing that. Too little, too late. But the Revival, man. It makes you wonder. It makes you really, really angry to hear that WWE are just wasting all this talent. I'm glad WWE is finally realizing and using other talents, like pushing Finn Balor. I'm glad that they're finally doing it. But it seems like it's too little too late now. Seems like it's too little too late. So, should WWE release the Revival and Mike and Maria? Mike and Maria, I say yes, they should release them. Now. I'm not saying that because I want them fired. I'm not saying that because I want to see Mike and Maria get fired. It's more the fact that they're going to find another job anyway. They're going to go to All Elite Wrestling or something. So, saying that they will get fired is really nothing now. It's really nothing now. There's so many other wrestling promotions out there. You can lose your job and be like, oh, well, I can go somewhere else. And that's what I see happening. I think Mike and Maria will get the release. I think they'll get what they want, and they'll get their release. But as for the Revival, I hope WWE don't release them. I hope WWE realize the mistake they make with the Revival. But if they do get released, then shame on WWE for letting them go. So, that's all I've got for you guys. I'm not going to make this video too long. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hit the thumbs up if you guys did enjoy. Comment your opinions down below on your thoughts on WWE, on the Revival, and Mike and Maria asking for their release. Be sure to hit the subscribe button as well. And I know I don't ask this from a lot of people, but I am actually hoping to get to 100 subscribers. So if you people could help out, that would be great. I want to try and hit 100 subscribers this year. I know I haven't asked much from you. I haven't asked much from people, but I would really like to hit 100 subscribers on the road to WrestleMania. Thank you all so much as well for watching this video. And follow me on my Twitter as well. At pvalentine95 as well. Thank you all so much. And I'll see you all in the next video.